If you're a working mother or mother-to-be who would like to strike a balance between caring for your family and succeeding in business, welcome to Mother Industrialist Live Show, where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. Kenneth Choo, the show host, brings in a different guest every episode to share how to perfectly balance parenting and work. Today, more than ever, you can choose to live life on your own terms, to craft a future for yourself and your family that is emotionally and financially rewarding. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 49 of Mother Industrialist Live Show, where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. I'm Kenneth Choo, the host and also the author of Mother Industrialist. So this is my book, Mother Industrialist. So in my book itself, I've interviewed 50 mompreneurs that I personally know in the past 10 years. And I've interviewed them, featured them, and also to share their entrepreneurial stories, journey in the book. To all the readers who are reading, especially the mothers. And in the book itself, I've shared the 3 P's, which I call the passion, purpose, and profit. So with these 3 P's, you are able to kickstart your entrepreneurial journey as a mother, as an individual. So at the same time, today is not about me. Today is about this really awesome lady that I've connected. She has also recently launched a book, and she's a fellow author with the same publisher as I, and she's a very inspiring mother, and she, in fact, she was the one that inspired me to really quickly get my book launched officially, and she's basically a doer. Once she set her mind to do it, she really go all the way out to really get it achieved. And she inspired a lot of us who are the authors of from our publisher Black Card Books, and she inspired a lot of us because she spent like less than a year to get her book, everything all prepared and launched and stuff like that. So I'm really honored to have her onto the show. She's the author of an Amazon bestseller, Disability, Not Disability. So she's a mompreneur. She's also a mother of 2 beautiful adult children. And so without further ado, let us welcome Winnie. Hi, Winnie. How are you?
Hi, Kenneth. Thanks for the great introduction, and thank you for having me.
No problem. It's my honor to have you. Let me just, okay, let's see. Okay. So thanks for coming on live, and I know that we have some hiccups here and there to get us connected, but that is why I always meet the guests like half an hour beforehand to make sure that the connection and audio are good to go. So before we officially kickstart, there's a tradition in my show that every guest gets to post the question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So are you ready with the question of the day posted by the previous guest before we officially kickstart with the show? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you ready? Okay. So the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what is your superpower, and tell me why you rock? Okay. So let me repeat the question of the day again. What is your superpower, and tell me why you rock? This kind of rock. That means why are you so awesome? Okay, spend some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook Live to see if our audio are good, and if there's we have anybody coming on live, we will say hello to them, and I'll come back to you while you now. So now you can think about it while I go on to Facebook Live and check. Okay, is that
okay?
Good? Okay, I see. Okay, I can hear my voice. Now it's waiting. I think I can hear you. Okay, I can hear you. Good. Loud and clear. Okay, so Winnie, are you ready with your answer to the
Yes.
question of the day? Okay, share it with us.
Actually, every one of us have superpower. I think, especially the mom, not forgetting the dad too. We all have superpower within us. The bless you.
And thank you.
It is actually what drives you to do what you needed to do. I don't believe I have anything out of the ordinary. It's because this is something that is my passion. It is something that I have to do, and I felt that through this book about the journey of my son, I can help so many people. I can inspire and be a ripple of hope because of that, and that really drives me to complete this project within such a short period of time. And failure to do so is not an option for me.
So that is your superpower.
Yeah, that is my superpower.
And why do you rock? That means why are you so awesome?
I don't know. Maybe that's how you guys perceive it, and I like that. That gives me a lot of motivation. I think that the key is if we have a purpose in life, and I love my life. I'm not satisfied with where I am right now, and that's where it gives me the motivation to be better, to learn more, and be more.
Wow, you are really awesome, and you rock. And now we can officially kickstart with the show. So Winnie,
Thank you.
so now maybe you can do a short introduction of yourself to share with the audience, especially for those who are new to you. Where are you from? What were you doing prior to you writing this book? What changed your perspective, and what makes you write this book? So maybe you can share with us what were you doing previously, or even currently you are doing, and to give the audience a background of you of yourself.
I was born and raised in Malaysia. I came here about 30 years ago, and currently I'm working. I'm still working. I love my job. I am the senior project coordinator with this awesome company, and I enjoy my work every day. Believe it or not, I really like what I do. But because I felt that there is a passion in me that I still don't feel enough to stay where I am. So I constantly going out there to find answers to improve myself, especially when I was told that my son has learning language disability. Is really hard for me, and I felt that if I'm not good enough, how can I help my son? Because of that, I keep searching for answers. I keep learning. I attend seminars to better myself in order to help me help my son. So one of the reasons why I wrote my book is because when I saw my son walking down the stage when he received his bachelor's degree, that really hit me hard, and right in my core that I told myself I have to share his story, because I'm sure there are many parents out there who may share my challenges, who may and may not, and if they are, I hope to use this book to inspire them. And for the parents, for the students, for the teachers, for the educators, for any dreamers who want to have more and out of their life, I firmly believe that this book will give them the message to inspire them to be better, to never give up, and to persist and never give up.
Wow, that is also the reason why our topic of the day is to how to discover and bring out the greatness of your child. And this is also a reason why I invited you to come onto the show to share this part of your story, because in fact, I think you didn't touch on that, because when you shared with me that you're a grandma, right? Grandmother.
I am a grandmother. Yes,
Yeah.
I have two wonderful adult children. I have a daughter. I have a son. My son is the one who has learning disability.
Hmm.
But I like to call it learning challenge.
Hmm. Yeah.
And yes, I have a granddaughter, a wonderful granddaughter who will turn 2 in November.
Wow, wow. Because why do I bring this up? Because the first time when I met you on Zoom, I couldn't believe that you are already a grandma, because you look so youthful, with your smile, with your beautiful hair, and I just can't imagine. I thought like you might not be that matured. So when I say, huh, you're a grandma and you look so really young, and how, I'm just curious. This is
Thank
just
you.
on the side, like uh, how do you keep yourself so youthful and like to maintain all that? How do you do that? Maybe there's some tips for the mothers.
I think age is only a number.
Hmm.
To me is I'm not afraid to admit I am 63. I'm turning 63 in November,
Wow.
but I am always 36 in my heart.
Wow.
I surround I mean I'm surrounded with people half my age,
Hmm.
and you know I get along with everybody. So
Hmm.
I stay very young. I never thought that that I won't let the number
Hmm.
determine my actions.
Hmm. So does this like you connecting with people half your age, it helps a lot, right, to keep the youth, because the energy and all that stuff. And does
Yes.
that happen only recently, or it is the way you live your life, or something switched and you decided to be more connected with young people, be youthful, the mindset and all that stuff? Is there a switch?
No, actually, um, I wasn't brought up that way. I was raised in the traditional Chinese way, where I was raised in lack and limitation, and my belief system was completely different. So when I came to United States, I was blessed with the opportunities everywhere
Hmm.
that I can find opportunities to improve myself.
Hmm.
And the more I learn, the better I became. So
Hmm.
my belief system, my perspective of life, and in every way possible, I'm just transformed.
Hmm. So at what age do you no what age was your son when you guys moved to United States?
My son was born here.
Oh, was born. Okay.
My son was born and raised in United States.
Wow. So can I say that, if because you say that for yourself there's a lot of opportunity for you because you went to United States and you're able to grow as a person. So I'm just like, maybe we have a different scenario. Imagine that your son is born in, maybe in Malaysia where you are from, and or maybe in any Asian country. Do you find that it will be much difficult for you to raise your child because within the Asian context, or is it better because you are in America? There's more opportunity. People are more open to that. Do you see that there will be a big difference, especially for you, as a mother?
Yes, absolutely. In KL, if I were to be in Malaysia, I would probably have a lot of challenge raising my son, because they might not have as much of the support system.
Hmm.
In America, they have, I mean, my son and I are truly blessed to have the special education program here that help him throughout the process, from his pre-kindergarten, from the moment he entered the pre-K, right
Hmm.
up till high school.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah, they are special program tailored for him, to help him grow, to help him learn, to of course, you know, there's just a lot of support with the system itself, with the teachers, and of course a lot of work from the parents as well. So it's a partnership. There's no such thing as you send the children to school and let the teacher do the work. There's no such thing. The teacher and the parents have to work hand in hand together. They can do what the teacher can do their best at school, but the parents, it's also the parents' responsibility to see that what he learned at school is followed through.
Yeah, and why do I ask this? Because for me, I've been doing a lot of. I've always believed in giving back, and been doing charity works, and I've been also in contact with children with special needs, especially helping them, especially even like bringing them out for excursion, to really have that bonding, having being volunteered for all this stuff. And I realized that a lot of them have a lot of challenge because of the support system, especially in Singapore. Uh, I I've I've not heard of one that really being supported all the way to, into high school, and even to get a bachelor and all that stuff. Like the whole support system does not bring you to that, and a lot of time even the job opportunity for them is also very limited locally. and and I believe that like the employers in United States, they might be more understanding that you have a special need. And does that help? That means, let's say for you, your employer will feel that okay, you can have a more flexible hours, they are more understanding. Because in Asian country, right, we work really really hard. Our bosses require us to work really hard, irregardless whatever reason you have. So even you have a special need, it's hard to juggle over here in Asia context. Is it easier over in United States for you to work at the same time to handle or to take care of your son?
I think it takes a lot of planning,
Mm,
and the fact that because I work with this company who offers flex hours,
mm,
I think most of the large corporate America company, they are now offering flex hour. So you know, if you have to go to your child's event or whatever, you can come in later and then you can work later to or you could take your vacation days,
mm,
and there's no reason why they will stop you from doing what you need to do, because family is very important
mm.
to
Which is the
them.
value to in
The
United States.
value.
Yeah. But over here,
Yeah,
I'm
I
hearing.
actually am in the best of both worlds when I'm here,
Mm,
because I can marry the background, the culture of Malaysian,
mm,
and and then I marry that of the wonderful culture of America. So I have my child, my
mm,
Kevin has my son's name is
mm,
Kevin,
mm,
and he has the best of both culture
mm.
in his education,
Yeah.
both from home and from the school.
Yeah. It's like an integration. And I would say that like you mentioned best of both world, which created a very good environment for them,
Mm-hmm.
especially children with special need, and also for them to discover and to bring out the greatness uh, of them. Like your son and graduated, and also you very much at ease. But I also understand that, like, because you are living in United States, but how about in Asia? What do you see? Because I know that you travel to Asia pretty often because of your hometown, and recently you have been doing some how should I put it, like your book launch. So
Mm-hmm.
so what is your take? Because today our topic is on how to discover and bring out the greatness of your child. So, what are your tips for mothers who have children of special needs, especially in the Asia context? What do you recommend to them, or what would you advise them?
When I was, in fact, one of the key reason for I have to go back to the purpose of my book again. I mentioned it that I wanted to inspire and be a ripple of hope to parents, students, educators, and dreamers who may be experiencing some struggles and they want more out of life to never give up. Life is full of challenges, whether you have special needs or not.
Yep, I agree.
But this is the thing. For me is because I didn't have the experience raising a child with special needs. I was going through a lot of struggles, and I wish we had a lot of information back then to be able to support, but I don't even know how and where to get the help. So having said that, what do I do with my experience? So there was Aldous Huxley put it very clearly, which I love. I take it at heart, and it says, experience is not what happens to you. It is what you do with what happens to you.
All right.
And that is why whatever happened to me, I was hoping that I can shed some light to others. I let my pain be my greatest purpose in my life. So that's why I wrote this book. And with this book, I wanted to create awareness. I wanted to also bring a message to the education sector that, we need help here.
Yep.
And the fact that there are more and more of these kind of cases coming up, how can we help these children? That's why I am very, very passionate about promoting this book. I send my books to in fact, we were asked to share this book. I share a lot of my books with teachers. I send the books to learning disability organization, association. I send books to all these people, these organizations. I'm hoping to remind them that, let's do more for these children. Let's come up with more program that could help the parent and the children.
Yep. And then I guess.
So for Malaysia, so go back to your question to Malaysia. I am not there often enough to know about this real situation over there. But before I went back, I researched this sector. I also found out that there are more and more support system for these learning disabled children.
Yep.
There are a lot of facilities. So I actually went to Malacca. I shared. I spent a day with them. I explained about the story of my son, and I shared. So there were many parents who came in. They have children with learning disability. They have autistic children. They were all there, and you can see how desperate they are to look for help. When I share some of the story, some of them were in tears because they felt that they are struggling. They are exhausted. They felt burnout. So how do you continue to do this for don't know how many more years to come?
All right.
So when I was there, I felt them. I was in the same shoe as them before. But you know what? They find comfort when I share the story. Yeah. They are not alone. And a lot of them blame themselves. I said, look, your children, my child did not choose to have learning disabled or to have autism. It is not your fault. It is not the child's fault. It is not the parents' fault. It is nobody's fault. It happened. So let's embrace what we have and do the best that we can as parents. I would like to share two stories that I learned from when I was there. It really touched my heart. When I was signing the book, the parents came up. The common question asked by these parents are, how do you uncover the passion of our children? There are so many we can figure out, and we are still trying to figure it out. There are two specifically that stood out that I like to share here with you guys. One parent knew exactly what her son loves. That is cooking. He said he is extremely good at cooking. And this kid is very healthy, very good looking, and he is autistic. He didn't like social life, and he didn't like to talk much either. But he is happiest when he's in the kitchen, and he is very good at it. But the mom says, but I want him to come out of his shell to be more sociable. And I would rather him doing that than cutting his hands in the kitchen. So she knew exactly what her son's passion is. But he wanted him to do something different. Now, this is so Asian mentality. I mean, the olden days Asian mentality. She wouldn't allow the son to do what he wants. So I told the mom, I said, let him be him. He loves to cook. Give him every opportunity to cook. Take him to cooking classes. Be there with him and learn together. Allow him to have the freedom to mess up. Let his creativity go to work, and he cook a good dish. Then we invite his friends over, sit down and enjoy the food. While you are eating, when everybody is happy and enjoying the food, you show the appreciation. And guess what? You uplift his confidence. He's happy, and he will do more, and he will do better. And during this time, he will expand his social life because because he's so happy. He will start talking more, and he will social more. So that is one story about how we were so focused on what we want as a parent than what the children want.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's another autistic kid whose passion is drawing. He's very sociable, this kid. He's a happy kid. He smiles at everybody. He shakes hands with everybody. But his talent is he's so talented in drawing. He draw an eagle that one of the students showed me that he's wearing on his t-shirt, on the t-shirt. He said, look, this is what he drew. He drew an eagle spreading his wings in the sky. It was printed on the t-shirt. The details of the feather, I wish I had taken a picture. The details of the feather, the eyes, the claws of the eagle, it totally reflects his focus, his talent, and how he perceives a flying eagle in his mind. So that's his passion. So focus on making him better and allowing him the opportunity to do best with his talent. You know what he can do. You want him to be great, to bring the greatness of your child. Help him be great and be better. And then whatever he did, he can use his art and as a fundraising opportunity. And that is greatness. Because when you give, I always say, when you give, you receive. Because there's the psychology, and in fact, there's a psychology that says that let me refer to my notes that I really wanted to read this correctly.
No problem.
It says that psychology shows that when we give, our brain's pleasure circuits become activated. That's why whenever we give, we feel joy and we feel happy.
Correct. And just now you touched on something that which I want to share, and which is very important. Like you mentioned that a lot of Asian parents, they want their kid to be certain thing, and they imply whatever that they think that is good that they think that the society can accept. They think that how other people look at them, and they impose that onto their child. For example, you mentioned that one the autistic child who's very passionate about cooking to socialize, but the problem is the kid only feel comfortable in his zone, which is cooking.
Mm.
Like the suggestion that you made, that means he whip up a very good meal, invite friends, and when the friends like what he's cooking, like because most people love foods. So when you have food, you get people together, and people appreciate, and he was be able to see the smile in them if his cooking is good, if he's really talented, and he will have that encouragement. And who knows that he may be able to be the next celebrity chef. You never know, because he's so passionate.
Exactly.
He's putting his heart and soul, and because he's autistic, his focus is there. His focus in making the food taste good, look good, whatever. So that, like what you mentioned, to bring out the greatness in them, which a lot of parents, sad to say, we are brought up in a very selfish environment, that we only want to do things for ourselves. That means for parents, and we only do things of how other people look at us. That means whether like, because for them the confidence of a parent had dropped from, because they having a special need child, which the environment, because they are so concerned about how people look at them, how people look at their child, and how, because for us in Asia, it always label, like if you have an autistic child or you have a special need child, we are always labeled as a not good parent or a bad parent, or
Mm.
a not good enough parent. So we are always labeled. So which is personally I feel is very wrong. Why do I say that? Because for me, my daughter, when she was 1.5 years old, she was diagnosed or suspected of slight autism. And because for me, I was so blessed that I was working for a parenting magazine, that I knew things like early childhood intervention that I sent my daughter to. And through the therapy, through the treatment, back then my daughter can't even learn properly, can't even read properly, can't even speak properly. But now, after all the therapy, and also we send her for enrichment center, which locally we have this enrichment center called MyChamp, that they also say to bring out the best in the child, to bring out the greatness, because they are programmed to not put, like, if let's say you are primary 5, if after they diagnose, after they assess you, they feel that your learning ability is like primary 3, they will just put you in that level, to be the same level, rather than forcing you at you are still with the primary 5, where your learning ability are not there yet. So they will nurture you, bring out the greatness in you in that level, let's say level 3. Once you are there fully 100%, then they will move you up. So they will not, no, will not place you in the environment that you are very different from the rest. So, and you mentioned that, which I pick up, is to nurture our child in the best environment for them, not the best environment we think that we want. That's why for my daughter, we put her in an environment that can nurture her. And like you mentioned, the second autistic child, that the child loved drawing, can draw the details of it. Like for my daughter, she loved to draw. She's in her space,
Mm.
in her creative space. So we bring her to art class, and maybe trial, to really see whether she can get it. And even like in music, she's also good at it. So we just send her. So it's to recognize and to discover. I understand that to discover is not easy. Like you mentioned that most parents want their children to be lawyers, doctors, and stuff like that. But they will always deem musician, artist as something that is not of a career, not of a proper job, which is what most Asian parents would have. And what is your
Mhm.
take on that? Like, for all these challenges that parents with special need children are facing, like people looking at them, what is your advice for them?
Um, when I was in Kuala Lumpur, I was having a press release interview,
Mm,
and I discussed with the reporter, and we both have the same view. We felt that we need to make this, create the awareness that the general public should be educated to understand this kid, not in a way that they have to be able to do anything, but at least to show some kindness to these children or this family. You know, they shouldn't look at them like a monster. You know, they shouldn't, I mean, they should show some empathy and understanding. What if this kid is yours? How would you treat others? You know, I know that there are a lot of parents, because of the kids' situation, they are cut off from the social environment. I mean, this is in Asia that I know of, in Malaysia that I come across. I can't speak for many others, but in general. So it is not fair to the children that because of their disability or their challenges that they have to be secluded from the social life. Inclusion is so important for them, for their growth, for their social life as well. So sometimes, I mean, to me, I strongly feel that the general public should be educated with at least some, should be educated that, you know, these are some of the things that you may see, the reaction beyond their control. So let's not give the parents or the child a hard time. You know, show some compassion and understanding, and at least say something like, it's okay, not a problem. You know, rather than saying something nasty to the parents or the kid. I knew, I have seen this, and you know, I don't know what to say. But seriously, I just feel that public awareness is so important to support as part of this inclusion.
And you talk about the public awareness, and I do not know, because because of my daughter, I've been doing and researching back then, and I'm surprised that like our government, we have like we have institute that helps all these special needs, that means therapies. We have government and private, and all I can say that even for government, the queuing, the least to queue, the queuing is at least 6 months. If let's say I want to register, it at least 6 months of time before my turn, it's my time, it's my turn for me to send my daughter for therapy session. At least 6 months. For private, it's 3 months. And to my surprise, that majority of them are not locals. A lot of them are foreigners, expatriates, because they have that education, they have that awareness, they can accept. They will not label themselves as a bad parent. They will want to solve this problem, to help the children to address this before they start to grow up. But when I hear from the therapists, they were saying that, oh, in fact, most locals, they only send their child for this kind of session at about 5 years old, 6 years old, which to them, to the therapist, is too late. It's very hard because a lot of their learning abilities have been structured. So it's really hard. Like for me, like a lot of them say, oh, you can only be diagnosed, or you can only send for therapy, or be so-called diagnosed as maybe autistic, or even other illnesses, only at the age of 5. But the problem is all the symptoms are already addressing in the early years, which a lot of parents do not know. I'm glad that I knew that. I sent my daughter for it, and they quickly addressed that issue before it has been fixed. And a lot of time, a lot of the therapists also share with me that a lot of local parents that are not that send their child at an age that is later, that there's so little things that they can do to help the child, is because of one thing, living in denial that their child is in this situation. See, because there's always Asian thinking, oh, they will grow out of it. If they can't walk, they will eventually walk. The kind of mindset. But the problem is, that was all the grandma story, and that was all very old school back then. And where there's no medical, there's no science that is enough to really justify. But now with all this knowledge, with all this science that is there to tell you that hey, you can do it earlier, but you do not. And it's also the public awareness that is not being given out to them. Like I do not know what is stopping the government or even the public to really address this issue or to draw this awareness, because they might feel that if they do that, okay, I'm a bad country. For example, like my country have a lot of special needs children. I do not know what is the reason that is stopping them. So for you, do you have any idea, like why, since we know the importance of this and we know that statistically there are more and more special needs children, but why aren't we doing this huge awareness? You have any thoughts to that?
I can answer that.
Mm,
I really can answer that because
yeah.
I have no clue.
Mm. Like you can't understand why, right? It's like it's so important, but why aren't we doing
Because
this?
I frankly, because um I don't know.
Mm.
I have no answer to that.
All right. I feel that this is something
Sorry.
for us to. No problem. Because I also do not have an answer, and I hope that a lot of parents out there, especially with special need or without special need or with the heart to really help out, to really think about this. Why aren't we doing this publicly? Like, why are we not doing this awareness, not as a huge community or not as a parent? Is it because that we are too mindful of what other people think of us, especially as a huge community? Yeah, so I do not have an answer, but I guess this is something for a lot of us to think about it, especially those who are watching and listening to this podcast, to really think about why aren't we doing this awareness largely? Because like for us, we always talk about health and we promote health awareness. We promote, like recently the mental wellness day, we also promote that. But why aren't we promote this? So it could be something that maybe
Well, maybe this is where we start.
yeah. And we can start from you, and that's why I
Let's
really,
start.
yeah.
No, actually, this is a very, very complicated question that
Yep.
I can't even imagine how to answer you. Um, but there is one thing that I have learned
Mm,
throughout my process of raising my child
mm,
is that before we can help our children,
mm,
we have already inherited so many negative habits and thoughts, and that the word paradigm,
mm,
um, that we is part of us. It is part of us. And how do we um, change something when we are still in the past?
mm,
So making it simple is that I think it's very important for parents, or for especially parents who have special needs. Of course, this goes to everybody, that the continued education is so important for us. It doesn't matter who you are.
mm,
But I specifically wanted to mention this to children with special needs. Parents with special needs, is because I think we need even more
yeah.
to invest in ourselves to learn. Now, this is the reason why we have our own belief system.
Mm,
We think that this is not going to happen. We just let it go the way it is, and that is wrong.
mm,
So how do we have to learn to unlearn our old belief system and habit, and then we have to relearn what serves us.
mm,
So in simple term is, whatever we believe before, let's drop it.
yep.
Find a way to change the system, find a way to change the habit, and then relearn what serves us.
Mm,
Like I hear a lot of, especially the. I mean, I'm an Asian, right? I know, the first thing I would say, I am so busy, I don't even have time to sleep, blah, blah, blah. Excuses, excuses, excuses. If you want something bad enough, you will make the best out of the time you have.
Correct.
Everybody has 24 hours. Don't tell me you have no time. Everybody has 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, it is how you make the best out of the time you have. Say, for instance, use your downtime to learn. How do you use your downtime to learn? I spend, even now, every day without fail, a minimum of 30 minutes to hours of learning, listening to audios. Specifically, if I have problem, say for instance, if I have a problem with finding the passion of my child, so I will spend hours and hours and hours and hours researching. How do I do that? And going back to using your downtime to learn. Yes, maybe you don't have time to read, then listen to but you have time to listen to news, watch the movies, songs, listen to songs and music, and you don't have 30 minutes to improve yourself. I don't get it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? If you want to help your child, but you stay where you were 30 years ago, when you were single, and then you got promoted to motherhood, and you learn how to be a mother.
Yeah.
Right? So I consider yourself being promoted. When if you were to work in the corporate, when you get promoted, you need to learn more to improve your skills, so that you can live up to your expectation. Right? If as a mom, you want to be a mother, you are already a good mother. How to be a great mother? Children with special needs, these are things that you need to understand even better. These kids think differently, and how do we go into their thinking to be at par with them, to speak the same language with them, to understand them. There's one huge problem that our society back in Malaysia, Singapore, is that they do everything for the kids for fear that they may mess up, and that how do we prepare them to be independent? We have to think of 30 years from now, 40 years from now, when we pass, and how is the kid going to live independently?
All right.
We are not helping them by doing everything for them. We need to help train them to be independent, to live on their own. So that way, because it's going to kill them when you pass.
Correct.
Who is there to help them? Right? So using downtime there are so many ways you can use downtime to learn, while you're driving, while you're cooking, while you're doing your chore around the house. Just turn on the YouTube. There are so many out there that you can learn. Just listen behind as a music. When I was working on my computer at home, I listened to YouTube, learning, continue to learn. Like, if you can afford it sometime, enroll in a day's seminar. Treat it as a me time, a gift to yourself, because we all feel burnout. So getting away is rejuvenating ourselves. So expand and by doing so, you expand your circle, your social circle. You associate yourself with like-minded people. You may be able to call them up and say, hey, I have this. What suggestion do you have to help me get through this issue? And then you say no money, free resources in the internet. There's not an excuse. And there was a millennial writer, and her name is Choo. She's under 30. She writes about millennials following non-traditional paths. Right? In one of her posts, she shared, Just type how to find your passion into Google, and guess how much you will get? You will get 29.9
million.
29.9 million results in 0.9 seconds.
Correct.
So the resources are there, free resources.
Correct.
So you don't tell me you don't have money.
Yep.
So if you say you don't have time, so can you cut down somewhere? Can you use your downtime to improve yourself so you can help your kid?
Yep. Like no dramas, no Korean dramas.
Exactly.
No drama.
You know, you don't sacrifice something for I mean, there's no free lunch. You have to sacrifice, or you have to invest in yourself. You have to sacrifice something, give up something in order to get something. Our children mimic us. If we continue to behave and think the way we are, how can we expect our children to do something that we won't want?
Right.
We don't want them to do.
That's what a lot of parents are not. They talk the talk, but they're not walking the talk. And as children mimic. Like if I'm doing Facebook Live, my daughter been doing Facebook Live herself at the same time. So that's why she's always curious of what we are doing. So a lot of parents, like they always ask most parents will ask their children to say, "Hey, you need to study hard." Then you say, "Papa, you're not studying. You're not reading a book. You're not doing this. But why are you asking me to read a book?" So that is something that contradicts. So the children will not follow what we say. They only follow what we do. So and something I like about when you share that that the environment is very, very important. That means for you as a mother, you need to have that why, and you need to keep on constantly learning, putting yourself on par with your children, because and a lot of times, if you realize, right, like although our topic of the day is how to discover and bring out the greatness in your child, in fact, after hearing what you have shared, I feel that it's to bring out the greatness in the parent first, because the parent have to take care of themselves. They have to nourish themselves with all the knowledge. They have to keep on being better, being knowledgeable, being able to be more resourceful. And also, you mentioned about the downtime. A lot of and even when I do my coaching for mothers who say that I do not have time, I need to do this, do that. I say, are you watching drama? Then they felt guilty and they kept quiet. So are you going for your favorite dance class? They kept quiet. So are you meeting your friend for tea? They kept quiet. So where does all your time goes to? So that's where I always tell them you need to audit your time. You need to look through what are you spending, where are your time going to. So even if you are transporting on the bus, you can always read something, you can always listen to a podcast or listen to an audio book. So you can always do a lot of things. It's how you're going to do that. And that needs a lot of guidance. And that's where like Winnie, you have shared a lot. I believe that you have even more greatness in your book. And it is also coming to almost the end of our show. We have really shared a lot of value from you, a lot of greatness from you. I believe that the audience will be able to gain more from reading your book, especially for parents who have special needs. So maybe you can share with us how can the audience get connected with you, Winnie?
You can email me at winniechinbook@gmail.com, or you can go to my website www.disabilitynotdisabilitybook.com.
Yeah, so I've already
for all readers, when you go into my website, you can get a free downloadable book.
Wow, that's so awesome.
I highly recommend listeners today go download the book. If there's one chapter, I mean, there may be one chapter resonated with you, or there may be more. I am sure anybody will be able to find something in the book.
Thanks a lot, Winnie. Thanks for your generosity to really give away the free downloadable copy of your book, and also to really to help a lot of parents who have special needs children to be able to learn more, to be able to walk the path down with them, and most importantly to be happy. And last but not
Yes,
least,
absolutely. Yeah.
correct,
If they love their children, I mean, first of all, they have to learn to love themselves, and to then they can love their children.
correct,
And then, if you love your children, if you love your children enough, then you should do whatever it takes
correct,
to
correct,
make it happen.
yeah,
Um, I always believe in upgrading yourself. It's no longer a luxury; it is a necessity.
correct, correct. And it helps us to move on with life, because there's so many things that is moving so fast that our past, like I always shared this especially in the past few episodes, that we over respect the past, we fear the future. That is what a lot of us are stuck. That's why we always say, oh, YOLO, live one, is it? Live your life once. Yeah, live one life. So, but the problem is, if we live in the present, how are we going to move on with life, especially as parents? Um,
Hmm.
like you mentioned something that you shared something about, if a lot of parents, we are doing a lot of things for our children, for just with children without disability, we most parents are already doing that. So for parents who have children with disability, um, it's it's very very important for us to create an environment, or to help them to be able to better when we are not around, which is very important. It's not just applying to children with disability, also applying to children who are just normal, because that will prevent them from learning, from them from growing, prevent them to be able to survive in their future when we are not around. That's why nowadays, if you look at a lot of children, they are very dependent on their parents. Without their parents, they cannot do anything. Without their parents there, they can't meet people, they can't even interview, they can't even uh, transport themselves to the workplace. They need the parents to fetch them and all that, being too dependent, and all this start from the parents themselves. and
We
and we
enable them.
Correct, we disable them instead of enable them. And this is
Hmm.
something that I learned from the therapy, because like early on I mentioned that my daughter was suspected of slight autism. She's not able to express. The reason why she can't express, because we are doing every single thing for her. Like she can't she like we always think, oh, now it's lunchtime, we feed her with the food. Now it's to drink water time, we let her drink the water. Now is to dress up, we help her to dress. So everything we are doing for her, so she has no ability to learn all these things. And that's why is we are the cause of delaying. Where you look at back then, like my parents back then, everything we have to do ourselves, we learn things very fast. We learn how to wear our own clothes, wear our own pants. We learn how to brush our own teeth and all that stuff. Well, our parents did not like, a boy, you need to do this. We are not that patient. Our parents back then were not patient. They just leave us in the ocean and for us to learn. But eventually we learn. But nowadays, parents are not allowing their children, even if in playground, oh, boy, you cannot climb so high. Back then, our parents don't even care. Like, you climb as high, you fall, you learn. But nowadays, parents are so protective about their children. It's because of our past. We over respect our past, because we see that, okay, back then my parents did not take care of me. Now I need to take care of my children. But the problem, do you realize that this disabled them, especially even your child is a normal child? So this is something that I learned, and this is my biggest takeaway. And I just want to share this part, because this is what I learned. That's why the therapists say that you need your children to voice out, to say, Papa, I need to eat. Need them to really voice it out. That's why a lot of childs are having all this disability, is because of what the parenting. A lot of things we are not allowing them to do, even allowing them to talk properly, stuff like that. So thanks a lot, Winnie, for sharing so much. And also, now to wrap up the whole show, as I mentioned in the beginning, there's a culture that every guest get to post a question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So do you have the question of the day ready that you want to ask the audience? It
Hmm.
can be anything about maybe your book, about parenting, about entrepreneurship, or about life?
Yes, I do have a question
Mm.
for the audience.
Yeah, okay.
We always say we want to how to discover and bring out the greatness of your child of
Correct.
your child, right?
Mm.
I think that this question, I think a better question would be, this is what I would give to the audience.
Mm.
How can we, instead of asking how to discover and bring out the greatness of your child,
Mm.
I would highly encourage for the audience to take a minute to think about this question and constantly ask, how can we as a family turn what our children already enjoy doing? Okay, let me rephrase. How can we as a family turn what our children already enjoy doing into skills?
Okay.
And to bring the best out of them for the future? Let me repeat. How can we as a family turn what our children already enjoy doing into skills and bring the best out of them for the future? Think about those two stories that I share about those two kids, autistic children. This is how we should be asking ourselves. Ask better questions and you will be able to have better answers for yourself.
That's good. That's good. So I will repeat again. Correct me if I'm wrong, Winnie. The question of the day posted by Winnie out to the audience and also to the next guest is, how can we as a family turn what our children enjoy into skills?
Already enjoy.
Already enjoy. Okay. Already enjoy.
Already enjoy doing.
Enjoy doing into skills.
Into skills.
And bring out the greatness. Is it?
And bring the best.
Okay. The best
out of them for the future.
Okay. Okay. So for the question of the day, it is how can we as a family turn what our children already enjoy doing into skills and bring out the best of them for the future? So I will put this question of the day posted by Winnie in the comment section, where the audience and for those who are watching the replay, you can post your answers below in the comment section, so that you share with us with your answer to Winnie's question. So thanks a lot, Winnie. And any last advice for the mothers who are sitting on the fence thinking whether they should pursue their passion or they should step into entrepreneurship, or how they can bring out the greatness in their children by being the best for themselves?
I think the most important thing, I can say enough of this, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. It is so important for us to upgrade ourselves, to learn and unlearn our old belief system, and to be the better self. In whatever we do, you want to be an entrepreneur. Of course, you need to learn how to be an entrepreneur. So you need to select your circle of friends who are like-minded to be able to have the support system and to be, to be a better parent. Then learn what your weaknesses are and know yourself. When you know yourself better, you will be able to find the resources to support you and to help you improve in that area, and then you'll be able to help your child even better.
Wow.
And I know we are very busy, but especially those children with learning disability, we really have to spend extra time partnering with the teachers to do whatever is given to them. I have never one time treated my son as learning disabled. He is a normal child to me. I don't care how other people label him as learning disabled. On paper, he is, but in my mind, in my son's mind, he is learning able.
Yep. That is very, very good advice, and also a very good wrap up. And thanks a lot, Winnie, for making time to share so much golden nuggets, and also to inspire a lot of mothers, to give them hope that there's more things to what they are experiencing as a mother, especially mothers with special needs, and also to give a lot of mothers who have beautiful children, who have like they do not have that much special need challenges, to be able to embrace and also to help those who are in need, especially parents who have special need children, to really understand, to even embrace what they have, rather than on the sideline to say, hey, how come this kid is like that and stuff like that. Stop doing that, because you yourself, you are a parent. You should be a good role model for your children. So
absolutely
correct. And
thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
It's my honor too to have you to really share on this, and thanks a lot for making time. And I will thanks for those who are tuning in, and also thanks a lot for the support that you guys are coming in. I see people that are still coming on live, and thanks a lot. So last but not least, Kenneth here signing off with Winnie Chin. Thanks a lot for watching Mother Industrialist live show, and I shall see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See you.